Okay, weight maps. What are they? Why do we use them? Well, you saw earlier when we were in layout and we moved Zombie's leg around that we got some pretty nasty deformation on the left foot of the mesh. In other words, some points were moving around with the right leg, and that's not what we want to have happen. So what we need to do is we actually need to create a kind of mapping structure across the zombie mesh, which will tell layout how to deform the mesh. In other words, how to which points are associated with which bone. And by doing that, we're going to create a much nicer looking character when we're animating. So how do we create weight maps? Well, what we do is we go in and we select parts of our mesh by either points or polygons, and we assign values to those points. And then later, after we've done all of our mapping, we'll go in and we'll then actually assign the given weight map to the associated bone. And so you may be asking yourself, well, okay, here's our character. He has two sides of him. Does this mean I'm going to have to map all of his right arm and his right forearm and his hand and his fingers and such, and then do the exact same thing on the left side and just basically have to do my work twice? Well, no, you don't. And I'm going to show you some tricks on how to do that. One thing I will tell you is for this lesson, I've gone ahead and, as you know, I like to use context menus a lot. I've taken some of the tools that we're going to use pretty often, and I've mapped them into my middle mouse context menu. And the ones that I've put in here are Create Weight Map, Set Vertex Map Value, Clear Map from Vertices, Copy Vertex Map, which is grayed out now because we don't have any maps to really copy at the moment. We don't have any selected. And then I have a couple plugins down here. And we're not going to use Skeleton Editor, although that is a great plugin and can be used for a lot of things, including setting up your Skeleton, but we won't go into that. Another one I have is this Mirror Weights, and this is a great plugin, which unfortunately is kind of hard to find now. If you do happen to have it, I'll probably touch on it briefly and just show you how you might be able to use that. And if you ask around, particularly if you're on CG Talk, you might be able to find somebody who has it and can give it to you. The other one that we will use is called Delete Map, and this is a DStorm plugin, and I will go ahead and put a link on the video so that you can find out where you can get that plugin. Now, as far as loading plugins in and how you get them assigned to keys and all that, I'm not going to go into showing you how to do that. You can consult your manual, or there are probably several tutorials online that you can find on how to do that. And a word about plugins, you'll find, I do tend to use a lot of plugins. You can see here all the plugins I have. They're great tools, and they can speed up your workflow. They don't really do anything that you can't do already in all the default tools in Lightwave, but they can help you do things quicker. And just in terms of workflow, that's something we really want to try to improve is our speed. First, we find out what we learn how to do things, and then we find out ways to do them as quickly as possible. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go in and I want you to save a copy of Zombie. And I'm going to call this Zombie Old. And then I'm going to actually close this object. Okay. And I'm going to load Zombie in again. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to have a reference object just in case anything gets messed up, because we've done so much work up to this point. If we need to get back to the way our character originally was, we'll have a copy of it. And if you look down here in your lower right hand portion, you'll see three little buttons here. We've got W, T, and M. The first one, W, is for weights, and that's the one we're going to be using. T is for texturing, UV texturing, and M is for endomorphs. And if you go ahead and view this drop down here, you'll actually see that there's already a bunch of weight maps mapped onto this character. Well, I'm not going to let you use those. We're going to get rid of all of them because we're going to create all of our weight maps from scratch. Now, if you want to, you can always go in here and take a look at these weight maps and see how the modeler of this character has set them up. And the way you do that is you go, you select a viewport. I'm just going to select the perspective view here and go into weight shade. Let's maximize that. And you can see here that we've got some weight maps already set up. Head, here's some fingers, pelvis, so on and so forth. Well, let's get rid of all of those. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to go ahead and run this delete map plugin that I have. Now, you don't have to use that, but I found that it will speed up things quite a bit. And the way that we're going to do that is go into delete map. Brings up our little plugin interface. I'm going to select, by shift selecting, I'm going to select all the weight maps in here and just click all delete. Click OK. Now you see down here we still have spine 5, which might make you think that there's a weight map left, but actually all you have to do is go back to none, and you'll see that all the weight maps are indeed gone. The other way you would do this without using the plugin is you could just go into map, and you would select your map down here and just click delete map, select map, delete map, select map, delete map. But this way is a little bit quicker. So let's go ahead, and now we're going to save this object. Now I'm actually going to close it and reload it, and that is just to go ahead and clear out the buffer. Occasionally you might find that if you use some other functions that use weight maps, that those weight maps are still listed, even though you've cleared them all out. But by closing the object, let's close the object, and loading it back in, you'll find that the buffer is completely cleared out.